This has been a marketing journey I've been on for about 2.5 years. We're out of network, and so that creates its own challenges from a new patient flow perspective. The problem that we've been trying to solve is how do we get more butts in the chair? And so we've tried different companies, and I feel like I've done it all. And I was honestly kind of just fed up. Had gotten to the point to where I was like, nobody actually does what they say they're going to do, which is a huge problem. And so finally I was like, made a bunch of phone calls to a bunch of different companies and was just like, hey, I just want results. I really don't care how much it costs. I just want patients.
Get them in. Yeah, get people in, and then we'll solve it from there. Because it's what I always remind people, you're a newer practice, so it's like open up the top of the funnel and then we'll figure it out. Welcome back to another episode of Dental Marketing Go. I'm your host, Gary Bird. I'm the founder of SMC National, where we help offices just like yours level the playing field and grow the way that you want. And today I have Dr. Blake Hamblin, who's a dentist owner of a practice in Houston, and he's going to talk about how he's doubled his new patients working with SMC, and he's going to share with you some of the things that didn't go right, some of the struggles that he's had, and where he's at now, and how he's been able to double his new patients. You're not going to want to miss this. Stay tuned. All right, we are live, and I'm excited about today's episode because I was just having a conversation with Dr. Blake, who's out of Houston, and he's a client of ours. We actually know each other from different Facebook groups that we're in, and he first started with SMC, and he tagged me and said, hey, I just signed up with you guys. And I said, I'm going to watch your account like a hawk. I'm going to be paying really close attention. So he doesn't know this. I didn't tell him yet. I've been watching him every single day, and they've been marketing for about a month and a half with us right now. And I'm really excited. We're going to dive into this. He's going to have his highest new patient month ever by almost double. And that's so exciting. But it does cause problems. It's not everything's always sunshine and rainbows. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. But before we do, just really quickly, Dr. Blake, could you share with the audience what it's been like to work with SMC and just your process so far in the last couple months that we've worked together? You've probably noticed this before, but this podcast is unsponsored. What that means is we don't get paid to do it, but we want to bring you the best information possible. So how do we make sure that this content stays on the air? We need you to like and subscribe. Wherever you're at, whatever you're listening on, just give us a thumbs up or subscribe, and that helps us out so much. I know that you probably haven't done it, so I'm just going to sit here and wait until you do. 95% of our listeners have not subscribed to our podcast. So go ahead and do it now. Don't make this awkward. All right, good. Back to the show.
Yeah. So yeah, first of all, I'm thrilled with what you guys have delivered. So thank you. But I think the journey kind of started with, I actually built my website when I was an associate dentist. I just had all sorts of time. So I did.
Wow.
And it aesthetically looked okay. I mean, everybody looked at it and was like, yeah, it looks pretty good, but just wasn't what I wanted. So I reached out to a couple different companies, and you guys were able to put together a package for me. So y'all redid my website, which was super helpful. But from the marketing perspective, it's just been fantastic. You guys, I've really enjoyed, what I've most enjoyed is the fact that you're involved and it feels like you care. Whereas a lot of marketing companies are not like that. And so we're actively emailing back and forth. You're easy to get a hold of. I'm talking with your team on the back end on different ideas. And heck, we just put together a QR code for a print ad that I'm doing so I can track that.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, it's next level stuff.
We really do care. I care a lot. Like, success to me is really, really important. And it hurts me when people fail. And, you know, when a company our size, and you know this, even with your patient base, like at times you fail, or times your team fails, and you want so bad to make those things right. So we always work hard to try to make things right and make people successful. And one of the things that we do is I talked about this a little bit at the beginning. We have daily stand-ups where I'm looking at every single account. And if anybody's off target or off track of their goals, we're talking about it and we're coming up with solutions and trying to get ahead of it. And so that's where that feeling of care, it's very similar to like a morning huddle, like you guys have, right? You got the patients coming in. Hey, this patient, they're a little more difficult. This is going to be something that we have to be delicate with. This patient, they don't need a lot of treatment, guys, or they don't want the treatment. So don't talk to them about the treatment, right? You get aligned every single morning, and we do the same thing. And that's been really useful for us. But I want to talk about your new patients. So you're on track this month when we're recording this to hit 52 new patients. And I think your highest month before this was about 24 historically over the last couple of years, or year and a half or so since you've been open. Talk to me a little bit about that. What's that's felt like?
Yeah. So, I mean, this has been a marketing journey I've been on for about 2.5 years. We're out of network. And so that's great and creates its own challenges from a new patient flow perspective. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, the beauty, the problem that we've been trying to solve is how do we get more butts in the chair, and so we've tried different companies, and I feel like I've done it all, and I was honestly kind of just fed up. I had gotten to the point to where I was like, nobody actually does what they say they're going to do, which is a huge problem. And so finally I was like, I made a bunch of phone calls to a bunch of different companies and was just like, hey, I just want results. Like, I really don't care how much it costs. I just want patience.
Yeah.
Just deliver something, please.
Yep.
And so I took a bunch of calls and landed with you guys. And to be honest with you, I thought it was going to be that whole like, well, we got to kind of roll into it 3 months. It's going to be slow. And it's like, honestly, the minute we turned it on, we were getting phone calls, like to the point to where like I had to train my team how to have better conversations with these people on the phone because they were like answering questions with no. And I was like, I don't care if they call and ask if we can fix their car. Like, just say yes. Like I would rather have to tailor it the other way and tell you like, hey, no, we can't do that. Then do it. So I'm like, just say yes to everything. Just do it.
Get them in. Yeah. Get people in and then we'll solve it from there. Cause what I always remind people, and I'm not recommending this for everybody, right? So you're a newer practice. So it's like open up the top of the funnel and then we'll figure it out. But most offices don't realize that the front desk has actually been trained somewhere else, usually, that just to basically just brick everybody, right? Like it's like, nope. And it's so easy to say no to things and to block those patients. And you've done an excellent job around this because you guys are converting in your second month of marketing at almost 80%. You're floating between 76, 78% for marketing new patients. That's really good, especially for the second month of marketing. Typically, the industry average is around 50%. And that's kind of what you were seeing as you guys were kind of closing that up. At the same time, your first patient visit, you're averaging $690. That's up from $400. So that's almost a $300 increase per new patient visit. Just one visit, right? That first visit. So what that tells me is not only have you figured out how to get them in, but you've also figured out how to get them to accept treatment right then and get them doing some treatment, which makes them stick at the practice. Because let's be honest, that's why they're coming in to begin with.
Right. Yeah. I feel like I always say our culture's sticky, and that's what matters most to me. It's what we talk about most in our practice is, it's not the dentistry we deliver. Of course, I want to deliver great dentistry. I want our team to deliver great dentistry. But more importantly, it's like, how do people feel when they leave here? Or even when they call in, right? And so I always say, like, if we can just get them in, we got, you know what I mean? And so that's been the biggest challenge. But yeah, when we get them in, I mean, our philosophy is like, get them to say yes to the best. We're going to give them a chance to say yes to the best. And then we can always walk it down from there. But giving them some third-party financing options at every treatment appointment. So when we present treatment, it's not your like open dental printout. We have a financial menu that we print out, and it has third-party financing on it. And it's like, if you wanted to finance it for 6 months, 12 months, 24 months, 36 months.
So smart.
Right here. And so then like you turn a $10,000 expense into a $500 expense really quickly. And people make decisions off monthly economies, not how much can I just put down? Because most people can't spend 10 grand.
So smart. I think I'm going to take a guess here. I think because you're younger, you understand that, because I would say 90% of the dental industry flat out does not get this. And here's what happens. And I've worked directly with a lot of the financing companies on this and watched and looked at their numbers. What most dentists do is, hey, let's present treatment. And then if they say no, let's throw the life raft in for patient financing to see if that saves them, rather than leading with patient financing. And I don't know why. I know why they do that, because it costs them money.
Yeah, and you don't know how many patients are walking away because you scared them. You scared them with the big number.
Yep.
Like we consistently present big high dollar treatment because, like I said, we're giving them the chance to say yes to the best. But that doesn't mean everybody accepts everything we present.
Yeah.
We say, okay, is there a number that would fit more in your budget? And then we present a financial menu that fits in that budget. So like,
what would you say to the doctors that are like, yeah, but I lose money because I'm doing everything that everybody's using financing?
Yeah. I mean, you're losing more money by not giving them the chance. Well, no, really what's probably happening is those doctors are not presenting all the treatment. Like they see the crown on Mrs. Jones. And really, she needs 3 amalgam fillings replaced with crowns, but they don't want to tell her about the 3 crowns because that's too much and insurance doesn't cover all of them. And so they just tell them about the one. Well, now they do 1 crown a year, whereas I'm doing 3 crowns sitting down CEREC. I'm done in 2.5 hours usually with 3 crowns. Like that. And I just
so your production for chair time is actually going through the roof.
I just did 3 times and I gave up 10% to Cherry Finance. Like, okay. Like, I'll do that all day long.
Man, the people who figure this out are going to crush. Like, it's just that simple. And this is the direction dental's going to go. And some people disagree with, like, I don't like the financing and I don't like the interest rates and I don't like blah, 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 whatever. Right?
That was me. Like, I was that person. And then I tried this and I was like, this is better.
How'd you come up with this strategy? Like, where did you?
So I've been involved with the 3D group with T-Bone and Sully, and that's a big deal. And honestly, like they both sat me down in some coaching calls, and they were like, "Man, just do it, just try it."
That's so awesome.
And I went kicking and screaming, and I came back and I was like, "All right, this works."
Makes so much sense. So I hope if people are listening to this, hear this, you will be successful with this strategy. You will win. Now, one caveat, you have to be in an area that people have a little bit of disposable income and decent credit, right? If you're a Medicaid office or you're in the middle of like a really impoverished area, the strategy doesn't work. So I just want to throw that out there. Okay. So now here's another thing that dentists really fight over. And I think we had to go back and forth with you a couple times on this. And you said, okay, I'll try this. I'll believe you this time. And I'll trust you. Was you ended up doing a discounted cleaning and a discounted exam and x-ray. And I know that you probably didn't do those before. Maybe you did. What led you to, okay, fine, I'm going to do this. And this is going to help me get more new patients and help my office grow.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I remember sending an email and being like, or actually, I think it was on a phone call with your operations manager. Another great thing about what you guys do is you followed up like a month later and was like, hey, we just want to like kind of know how it's going. And it wasn't with the team I've been working with. It was like your patient relation coordinator or whatever. Yep. And I was like, my only complaint is that I don't want to do a $49 cleaning. And you guys are like fighting me on this. And she's like, I know, blah, blah, blah. So anyways, I finally just decided like, my commitment to growth and leveraging what I want for my practice in the future, which is building a bigger practice that doesn't revolve around me as the dentist, was more important than me being profitable on each and every hygiene patient. Like I'm still going to be profitable on the people that don't see the CTA and don't come in for the $49 cleaning. But like, I'm willing to give that up. Like I'm in a position, thankfully, that like, I don't have to count every penny that I'm getting. And so I'm in a position to where I can give up a cleaning or two here or there on those $49 cleanings to grow.
Yeah. And really, what are you giving up, right? You're giving up $150, maybe $200 per patient, but what you're getting
is another opportunity.
And then you're adding, you're double compounding this. This is the part I didn't know. You're saying, okay, I'm going to open the funnel really wide at the top. I'm going to make sure my team is trained, make sure that they have the ability to get these people in. And then I'm going to offer them financing up front, not at the end to try to save them and feel like that car salesman thing. You know what I mean? I don't want that. I want to just offer it as part of the package. And then when you piece those two things together, you're getting more opportunities, and then you're hitting more home runs, you're hitting more doubles, you're hitting more singles, and all of a sudden you're scoring more runs,
right?
And your office is growing. And that's what's really, really exciting for me to see.
And I think it was like, I was going to double down on me. Like, I feel like I communicate really well with patients, and I was like, get them in. Like, I'll close Invisalign. I'll like, not that I'm unethical in what I offer to patients, but like, if they need it, I'm going to explain it in a way that they're going to understand why they need it. And they're going to typically say yes to something. And that's going to offset that $150 cleaning fee really fast.
Awesome. Any other thoughts I want you to think, because you're in these Facebook groups with me, right? So you see some of my posts and some of the things that like 98% of dentists disagree with, or people are like, absolutely not, never. I'm never going to do financing, or I'm never going to do this. What would be your final words to people out there that are like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I want to grow, but they might have to undo some thinking. What would be your final thoughts on that?
And I would say I think being surrounded by other people that do dentistry differently than me has been really key. I've got a buddy in Florida that super successful, doing amazing, but runs a very different practice than what I currently have. I mean, he's in network, has 4 doctors. It's me. I'm out of network. It's just me and 2 hygienists. You know what I mean? So like 2 very different philosophies, but the approach is the same. And so being around other people to be like, hey, what do you think about this? If I try this, what are the risks? Like, unfortunately in dentistry, we live in these silos, and we're afraid to talk to other people about our wins and our losses. And I think some of that's like the competitive nature of dental school and just people that go to dental school. But like, I'm an open book. Like, if I talk to anybody, I'll talk to you about my wins, my losses, my ups and my downs. And I think that's key. And so, I think just being around other people to be able to bounce ideas of like, hey, this may or may not work, but I want to give it a try. And what do you think? Is this a totally toilet idea?
Yeah.
Or does this have legs? I don't know.
Yeah. And a lot of things, here's the thing. I so often like the $99 cleaning, people are like, absolutely not. It's like, try it for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just try it. If it doesn't work, pull it off your website. And what's the worst that's going to happen is like, we had a couple of patients that we didn't want to see. Okay. Or the financing thing. Just try it. Give it a try.
You're so quick to go in network with the insurance company that you can't unwind.
Yeah, that you can't unwind. Yeah,
literally, like, I could call you tomorrow and be like, take it off my website, and it's done. You know what I mean? So like, there's not really a whole lot of risk.
Yeah, I love that, man. Well, great job. Thank you. I really, really appreciate transparency of the good, the bad, the ugly, because that's how people get better. And it's sad because most, and I know, people pretty much only talk about their W's in the dental industry. You go to every single conference, you go online, all people are talking about is the good stuff. There's no mention of how hard it is, the difficult spots, the failures, like, hey, I did this, and this wrong before I got the one thing right. I appreciate you coming on and just being like, look, I tried a bunch of different things. It didn't work. I got to this. It did work. Now here's what's working for me. And I bet you're going to do a couple other things that aren't going to work. And then you're going to get to the next level and to the thing that works. So I appreciate you coming on and being transparent like that, because that's how actually people learn and grow. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.